Craving some comfort food with a kick? Ashley's Q has you covered, serving up deliciousness every day of the week. Start your week with a taste of the bayou. Our Tuesday seafood gumbo is packed with fresh flavors that will transport you straight to the coast. On Wednesdays, sink your teeth into our country fried beef brisket, crispy, tender, and oh so satisfying. Thursdays are all about the creamy, dreamy Alfredo. And when Friday rolls around, it's time for our famous fish fry. And on Saturdays, we are serving up juicy prime rib and savory pork chops that'll make your weekend unforgettable. And Sundays, it's soul food celebration. Hot chicken and waffles, meatloaf and gravy, fried chicken, turkey chops, barbecue ribs, oxtails, smothered neck bones, catfish, and that's just the beginning. Come find your flavor at Ashley's Q, located at 8718 West Lisbon Avenue. Call us at 414-935-2190. Ashley's Q, where every dish is cooked with love and every meal feels like home. See you soon.
Blessings, everybody. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Let me give a couple of people a chance to come on in. Tag your friends. This is Think About It Tuesday. I'm inside my living room. I'm going to play a little worship music before I start Think About It Tuesday. Okay, something is not working right with my music, so I'm going to cut the music off. Okay, something is not working right with my music, so I'm going to cut the music off. And I'm going to just say blessings, everybody. Tag a friend, tag a neighbor. Blessings, Pastor Luis. I see you on here. God bless you. My daughter, I see you on here. Thank you for the birthday wishes. But y'all, come on. A couple of things that we're going to talk about on this Think About It Tuesday. I'm sitting here in my living room doing my Think About It Tuesday. This is my time to relax. This is my time to just have a great time on Think About It Tuesday, because we're going to talk about some things tonight, guys. And I want it to be a blessing to you guys. It's some things we got to really talk about on this Think About It Tuesday. So I'm just tagging a couple of more people. I ask you to tag people too as well. And let's have this conversation, because I think on this Think About It Tuesday, we need to address some things. And so we thank God for each and every one of you that's tuning in, and then those that are about to come in. We thank God for you as well. So first, an announcement on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night starts our Kingdom Constitutional Summit. Kingdom Constitutional Summit at 5239 North 35th Street. 5239 North 35th Street, 7 o'clock nightly. We invite each and every one of you guys to come on and be a part of our service on tomorrow night. It's for 3 nights, Wednesday through Friday. We have some excellent worship leaders, Pastor Fernando Walker, Pastor JBJ, Pastor and Apostle Prince Valentino. So come on out on this Friday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday night, 7 o'clock nightly. We will be up in a place. And I know many of us that wants to do the will of God, wants to do what God is calling on us to do, have thought about asking the question that if this really God is am I doing the will of God? Am I doing what God want me to do? So we're going to uh, be addressing that this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And so I just want to put that out there again. We have some amazing worship leaders that is going to be with us, and that is Pastor Fernando Walker, Pastor JBJ, James Buford Jr., and Apostle Prince Valentino. They will lead praise and worship all 3 nights. We start 7 o'clock nightly. So on this Think About It Tuesday, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. And I think that we really got to address it. I think we really got to put down some things that needs to be said. And for example, one of the things that we need to say, and you need to say it to a family member, to a friend, stop moving in this political season off of emotions. Stop allowing people the opportunity to push you in a direction, whether it's left or right, based off of emotions, but not based off of facts, not based off of principles or even politics. And so when we look at this, uh, especially minorities, I definitely really want to talk to the minorities, because minority people, we are the ones that they try to manipulate the most to vote a certain way. But if you move your emotions, totally move your emotions out of the way, and then just go in and look at facts, and you'll find out that one of the worst things, or if you look and say, where is the worst place for a minority African American to raise a family? And when you do that, you'll find out that those cities are run by Democrats. Those of y'all that know me, I'm not pushing either side. I just want you guys to look at your emotions, remove your emotions, and have a rational, to make a rational decision. You have to look at the reality, and you got to look at facts. Facts number one: neither party is going to save the black community. Neither party is going to save the minorities. We have to rise up ourselves. We have to put an agenda together that's going to benefit our children, our grandchildren. We the ones that's going to have to help our homeless, because they're not going to help our homeless. We the ones that are going to have to help those that are struggling with mental illness, because they're not going to help mental illness. So before we look at a party and make you think that they're going to do something for you, I think you better look again. And I like to say it this way: you have house Negroes, you got field Negroes, you got Uncle Toms, and you have Sambos. Let me break that down for you. House Negroes push the agenda. Blessing, Russ, and thank you for the birthday wish. House Negroes push Master's agenda. All right? They try their best to get field Negroes to line up with Master, to make them think that Master is the greatest thing that ever set foot on earth, make them line up and follow Master. Those are Sambos, all right? Field niggers or Negroes are Uncle Toms. Uncle Tom, real name is Josiah Hansen. Josiah Hansen freed more slaves than you can imagine. He opened up a school for slaves up in Canada. He always wanted slaves to be able to think for themselves, to be able to get an education, to be able to become self-reliant and responsible for their own lives. So that narrative that they used to use Uncle Tom for as a sellout, Uncle Tom was never a sellout. Uncle Tom refused to whip uh, black slaves. Uncle Tom used to put cotton in other slave bags so they didn't get whipped. So the narrative that Uncle Tom was a bad person is not it. Sambo's job was to get you to think the way Master think. If Master wasn't feeling good today and Master said, "Oh, I'm sick," Sambo would say, "We sick, Master?" If Master said, "We got a good house," Sambo said, "We got a good house, Master." So when you look at the political arena, you got a lot of Sambos out there. And their job is to push you toward a party, support that party that don't support you. And so by our emotions, they get us. And let me explain. Everything that they're doing in the city of Milwaukee, with the high crime, with the homelessness, with the mental illness. If a white man would have came into the city of Milwaukee and said, "Vote for me because I'm going to make your school system the worst. I'm going to make it hard for you to live. I'm going to raise taxes. I'm going to dumb down the education system. So I need you to vote for me." You wouldn't vote. So what do Master do? He sent on someone that looked like us in there, and they say, "Vote for me because I'm going to do something for you." And we vote for them just because of this, not because of their character, not because what's on the inside. And so what we end up doing is we allow them to use a person that looked like us to take us to the slaughter. They allow people to look like us, and we have the bad education system. We have high taxes in our city. It's one of the worst places for a black to raise their children in the city. But it's because we voted for somebody with this, but not with this, not with character, not what's on the inside of that person. And because of that, we lost out on a lot of things. And now, if you really did your homework, and again, I'm not pushing either party, because for the education system, both parties messed us up with No Child Left Behind, Race to the Top, and Common Core. So both parties messed us up when it came to the education system. So the hot commodity right now on the market is us. And so when you look at the political arena, the Republicans go get blacks to represent them, to get more blacks to vote for them. Democrats right now, they get blacks to come and vote for them. But let me explain this to you. If you do homework, when Obama was running for president, Obama says, "I'm going to do something for middle class." If you get food stamps, you're not middle class. If you get child care, you're not middle class. If you're on SSI, you're not middle class. If you robbing Peter to pay Paul, you're not middle class. If you living paycheck to paycheck, you're not middle class. If you're making $15 an hour, you're not middle class. If you're making $20 an hour, you're not middle class. So what are they saying they're going to do for you? That is something that you got to ask yourself, because you're not in the middle class category. So what are they going to do for you? They always holler about democracy, and this is what democracy looked like. But we're not a democracy. We're a constitutional republic. That means we're in a covenant with we the people and we the people. That means we're in a covenant with each other. We're in a covenant with one another that we're looking out for each other. Neither party are looking out for the people. And you just got to be honest with yourself. And you got to say, neither candidate is Jesus Christ. They're not going to save the world. You got to get up and save yourself. You got to get up and police your own community. You got to get up and stop the black on black crime. You got to get up and stop the drug problem in your community. You got to get up and invest back into your community. It's not going to happen no other way. And so when we look at everything that's going on, and I know people gets upset with me because I'm probably messing with their money because they get paid to be the Pied Piper to get you to march and vote for the candidate that they getting paid to promote and to push. And so they think all we need is a dark-skinned person, and then we don't think. They feel that if we can make the first whatever, we don't think. But let's look at the first person that made Major League Baseball. Y'all know who it is. It wasn't a cakewalk for him to be the first black to enter into Major League Baseball. It wasn't a cakewalk for the first black to enter the football league, National Football League. It wasn't a cakewalk for the first black to play basketball. It wasn't a cakewalk for the first black to be a pianist and to play music. They still had to go through the back door. They still couldn't eat in the restaurant in the place where they was going to play at. They still couldn't, certain things they couldn't do. So for them, first black who did something to make life better or to open the door for others, it was never a cakewalk. Now the first black we get is detrimental to us. Look at what our mayor in the city of Milwaukee is doing to our city. Look at what Mayor Brandon Johnson is doing to Chicago. Look what Mayor Cavalier Johnson is doing to Milwaukee. By January 25, Milwaukee is going to be in so much of a financial ruins that is sad. Look at what is going on with our education system in the city of Milwaukee. It's not doing anything for our children. So when we look at when we look at a person to vote for, we shouldn't look at their color of their skin. We should look at their character. We should be asking for receipts. Show me what you have already done to make me want to vote for you. Show me what you already done that you deserve my vote. Show me what you've already done or what you're planning on doing for the future of my children and my grandchildren. And then we got Sambos that's preaching out of the pulpit and try to use the word of God to get you to vote for somebody or support somebody that don't even support your God. That's a problem too. That's a problem when you use the scriptures for a non-circumcised Philistine to get the person to vote for the Philistine. That's a problem. That's a problem when you say, well, let's vote for them because of the color of their skin instead of the content of their character. It's a problem when you stand for one thing, but the people you're voting stand against what you stand for. It's a problem. Listen, reproduction. Let's talk about that for a minute because I hear them using that word, the right to reproduce, reproduction, right? When Roe versus Wade was overturned, for those of you who don't know what it really meant, when Roe versus Wade was overturned, the federal government said we overstepped our authority and we're giving it back to each state. Each state now makes the decision on abortions. Each state. All right. Nobody's taking your rights away for reproduction. Now, 20 million black babies have, and more, plus 20 million plus black babies been aborted. If you take medical, rape, incest, and put it all together, it still don't add up to 1% of all of the abortions. Majority of the abortions is from selfish reasons. They ain't ready for a child. They was cheating and they had to do something about it. And that's sad. And that is terribly sad. That we will allow over 20 million black babies to be aborted. We have blacks that raving for and supporting Planned Parenthood. All right. Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthood, and I quote her own words, so that we can exterminate the black population. That was the assignment of Planned Parenthood, and that assignment and that agenda is still going on today, to the fact that not only are black elected officials supporting Margaret Sanger's agenda, but the NAACP supports Margaret Sanger's agenda, and they support Planned Parenthood as well. We have to do our homework. We have to educate our children. We need to understand and realize that guns are not bad. It's the people who have the guns bad, because if they can take your Second Amendment away from you, then martial law would easily go into order. But not only that, criminals are not going to give up their guns. So if a criminal is not going to give up their gun and you're a law-abiding citizen and you turning yours in, you just became a target. You just became a target. And I saw something interesting today. There was thousands and thousands of police at the Democrat National Convention. Thousands. And you know what was funny? The same party and the same people that was crying to fund the police was the same one that had the police protecting them and guarding them. If you really wanted to defund the police, you would have told the police, we don't need you at our convention. You would have told the police, we don't want no protection. We don't want you guys because we defunded you. But now, all this overtime going to the police because you guys want to be protected now. But I know where y'all wanted them to defund the police: in the black communities, in the low income communities. That's where y'all wanted the fund the police, because then you have more crime, more deaths, and it'll help you guys, as y'all been trying to do for a while, reduce the population. So you want police, you just don't want police in the low uh, income communities. People slow down and think, move your emotions out of the way, realize what's really going on, realize uh, realize that they are fooling you. Um, Kamala Harris said that there's no way she can make a law only for blacks, but they made one only for Asians, and they made one only for transgenders, and they made one only for uh, immigrants, but they could not make one for blacks. You know, we have been bamboozled for a long time. When are we going to wake up? When are we going to realize that until we make up our own mind and rise up and do like everybody else and let that dollar circulate in our community at least 10 times before it go outside of our community? When are we going to wake up and realize that they don't have an agenda for us? We need an agenda for ourselves. When are we going to realize that they're not there for us? They're just using us every 4 years during election time. When are we going to rise up and say, you know what? Why are you knocking on my door for a candidate that the only reason you're supporting them is because you're getting paid? And that's everywhere. That's on both sides of the aisle. You got black folks being paid to knock on your door. You got Latinos being paid to knock on your door. They up to $20 an hour now to knock on your door. Don't mean they believe in those candidates. It's because they're being paid. They're being paid. Power to the Polls is an organization that Mandela Barnes is running. You don't see him out in public anymore. Souls to the Polls, the churches, who's pushing you to vote for someone that, number one, have not acknowledged your God as their God. Number two, is going to make laws against your God. Number three, who couldn't identify what a woman was for the last 2.5 years. They could not identify what a woman was. But not only that, when it was National Women's Day, International Women's Day, they gave the award to a man and not a woman. And we ain't said nothing. But y'all didn't know what a woman was. But now all of a sudden we know what a woman is. When are we going to pump the brakes, take a look, find out the whys, find out why you want to vote for somebody, find out why you're doing a thing. And I got a phone call because somebody saw my picture in a candidate's ad. I, number one, did not know that picture that was taken around the time I was running for mayor. We was at a meeting together, and my picture, they took a picture and they made it into their commercial. I did not say I was endorsing that candidate. I did not give permission for my picture to be used in that um, in their commercial. I don't care about that. I just want people to know. I never said I endorsed that candidate. I go by character. I don't go by party. I don't go by color. I go by character. And so I I did not um, okay it. I did not know it was there until people started calling me and told me you're in this commercial. And a guy came out to me today and said, I didn't know you was pro-life. And I'm like, what do you mean? He said, I saw you in this commercial. And they said something about pro-life. And I said, well, I'm pro-life. I don't believe in abortion. And he said, oh, me too. Then I guess I'm pro-life. See, instead of just hearing some things, we need to find out what it means. What do it really mean? What is it? What is their saying? What are we about? No, I don't believe in abortion, and that's not because I'm a believer that I love God. It was because it was installed in me by my mother, and so um, I don't believe in abortion. I don't believe um, in same-sex marriage. I believe if you're grown, whatever you do in your bedroom, that's between you, the individual, and God. I don't believe in it. If I'm in leadership and I have somebody that's in that lifestyle, I'm going to treat them with the utmost respect, like I do anything else. But when your lifestyle is being indoctrinated on my children, then we got a problem. And then I got some things I need to say to you. And so uh, And so when we look at it for what it really is, you know, I don't believe that uh, we should be indoctrinating children and confusing children's sexuality with these stupid pronouns uh, and those things I just don't believe in. And for people to understand, you have the a person that love the same sex um, everywhere. You got them in sports. You got them in the Democrat Party. You got them in the Republican Party. You got them in Libertarian. You got them in the Green Party. You got them in as independents. So I'm not. So you got them everywhere. And again, what you do in your bedroom is your business. But when you're attacking the children and indoctrinating the children, then it becomes my business. And so I'm going to fight for our children. And that's bottom line. Because what they won't tell you, even though the candidate for vice president for the Democrat Party turned Minnesota into a sanctuary for children to get their sex changed. And let me tell you why I got a problem with that. If you go do the research, 72% of young people that get a sex change try to commit suicide, and 40% of them succeed. Because they're confused, they're messed up in the head because of people. Allow children to be children. Allow children to enjoy a nice childhood. Allow children. Matter of fact, leave the children alone. Leave them alone. You have no business doing that to a child. And so this is why on Think About It Tuesday, I bring up certain things so you can go look it up for yourself. You can think about it for yourself. You can make a decision for yourself. And so we have to really get to that place where we protect what we love. And so this is why I sit around and I tell the truth. Because somebody has to come to the middle and tell the truth. Somebody, because you know what? There's no money in telling the truth. There's not organization that would pay a person to run around and tell the truth. But there's organizations that would pay money for you to lead to manipulate somebody to one side or the other. If there's no organization here, we'll give you this money, just continue to tell the truth. We'll give you this money, continue to educate people. We'll give you the money, continue to expose things. You don't have that, but you gotta. I'll pay you how many people you think you can manipulate to vote Democrat. How many people you can manipulate to vote Republican? Because that's all you're doing is manipulating with lies. A half truth is a whole lie. And an excuse is the lie wrapped in a coat. And you need to understand that. And we have to stop allowing people to manipulate us through our emotions. Commercials do it all the time. How many times you sat around the house watching something on TV, and then all of a sudden a Pizza Hut commercial comes on, and all of a sudden you get hungry and you want a pizza, or a soda, or candy, or cigarettes, or whatever, because those commercials beguiled you, they manipulated you, they tricked you into wanting something you really didn't want. And every election, that's what they do to us. They manipulate us to think that there's something that we want, but it's really not what we want. And so because of that, we have lost out on a lot. And so it is my responsibility to pull out truth and say, here it is. Now, ask yourself why. Why did the Biden and Harris administration do anything for the Black community this term around, these last 4 years? Anything significant, anything that they did impactful to the Black community in a positive way? They haven't. They haven't. When people got to talking about Obamacare, they didn't even pay attention to Obamacare. Many people got fined because they lost insurance and they didn't have insurance in time that they did their taxes. So when you start to look at certain things, you got to ask yourself a question. Why would I support somebody that wants to oppress me? Why would I want to support somebody that that will be upset with me if I don't think the way they think? How is it that you got other blacks, and you notice a white person? Check this out. I did a radio show, and on my show, I shared some information about both candidates. I shared information on exposing lies, like Project 2025. Project 2025, they said that was Trump's. In actuality, Project 2025 was created by a conservative think tank called the Heritage Foundation. It was not created by Trump. So I exposed that. I exposed that they said that he was going to be a dictator. And I said, how can a man be a dictator when you have Congress, the Senate, and the Constitution? But not only that, each state is a nation by itself, and they can pull out the 10th Amendment and say, we're not going along with what you're trying to do. I made a statement that Wisconsin law says that in order for Kamala Harris to be on the ticket for president, Biden had to die, according to the law in Wisconsin. And Wisconsin is not the only state that has that. And so my question was, how is they going to do this? Or are they going to try to cause a fit and say they won't let the black woman on the ballot? And when I said that, the phone rang on the radio show and a pastor called in because they did not want me to tell the truth. And this pastor is one that's manipulating and lying to the people to get you to go a certain way. Because when he was on his radio show, two things he said that I confronted him about. One, that Trump was going to be a dictator. And two, his principles is in line with Biden principles. So what I did was, after his show, I made sure I was there in time. So when he got off the air, I said, brother, I need to talk to you. And I said, how is it that your principle as a man of God and Biden principles line up? You're in agreement with homosexuality. You're in agreement with transgender. You're in agreement with a man going in the bathroom with your daughters and your grandchildren. Oh, no, no, no. I'm not that part of the principles we're not in agreement with. I said, bro, that ain't what you said on the radio. You said your principles and Biden principles line up together. So why would you get on there and lie to the people then if that part of his principles don't line up with you? Oh, they'll figure it out. They'll figure it out. No, they will not figure it out. So when you go on air and you state something and says you agree with someone except for here, 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 and here, then I got a problem. Because this same man who said his principles and he's a pastor lines up with Biden, and Biden says you're not black unless you vote for me or supports me, then that's your principles. Oh, no, 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 that's not. No. When you open your mouth and said, I said, neither candidate principle line up with mine because my principle line up with God. Now, if you're talking policies, that's a different story. But principles, what you stand for, what you believe in, no. So we have said so much to manipulate people so we can be paid by showing a public image of so many people following us, that we can get so many people to the polls to vote for the person that is paying us. And if you're a believer and you're going along with this, then you just sold them out for 30 pieces of silver. I'm sorry. Either we're going to stand on what we claim we believe as pastors and preach on what Christ told us to preach on, or we're not. There is no taking a break during campaign season to lie for a candidate. It doesn't work like that. People, move your, start asking questions. Start asking, what are they going to do for your community? Ask them, what have they done for your community? Show me what they've done. That's what you ought to say. Show me. Besides somebody that looked like us getting paid. The average family benefiting because it's not happening. Because they don't care. Do you know if they really start working and helping the community, a lot of their little agencies would have to shut down? It would have to totally shut down. Why? Simply because simply because they you just put them out of business. You don't need all these agencies. These government agencies that we have in the city of Milwaukee, a lot of them you won't need. If we start taking up for one another, if we start working together to making a better city, better state, better country. You know how we get our country back? You know how we get our city back? You know how we get our state back? We have to do an exodus. We have to come out from both parties. Focus back on we the people. Focus back on our family. Focus back on education that our kids can compete with anybody across the world. And the only way we're going to do that is we do an exodus from both parties. You never, ever really had to choose a party. You can choose the person based on their principles. Principles over party for the support of the people. We the people. So we have to come together and we got to make sure that everything we do it to the glory of God and a benefit for every born in this country, American, and every immigrant that came legally through this country. Not the ones illegal, but the ones that came here legally. The one who did it right and came through the front door. We the people. Go back. Read everything again. Refresh yourself. Understanding what's up, what's at stake. And realizing without God, we're nothing. This is Dr. David D. King. Think about it Tuesday. Oh, and by the way, thank you. Thank each and every one of you for the birthday wishes that you guys have sent me, the love and support on this day. It's been a very good day. I thank my beautiful wife for taking me out for my birthday dinner, and we went to a restaurant where we had our first date, and that was Longhorn. So I want to thank her for that. It was a beautiful day. Again, tomorrow, I can't express it enough. Tomorrow, and I'm gonna do a live tomorrow, and I'll say it again on our radio show tomorrow. But have you ever thought about the real will of God? Have you ever thought about, are you really in that real will of God? Have you ever thought about, am I doing it God's way? Or am I doing it the way of the people? Or the way of the denomination? You thought about that. I want to invite you out starting tomorrow night for the Kingdom Constitutional Summit. Kingdom Constitutional Summit at 5239 North 35th Street in the city of Milwaukee, where the zip code is 53209. We have three amazing men that are doing praise and worship. Men are doing praise and worship. We have Pastor Fernando Walker, Pastor JBJ, James Buford Jr., and Apostle Prince Valentino. It's going to be an amazing time. Come on out and learn. And here's what I ask you to do. If you're coming out, bring a notebook. Take notes. And then go back and study for yourself. Again, this is Dr. David D. King. I love you guys. And I thank God for each and every one of you. Until next time, God bless.
Craving some comfort food with a kick? Ashley's Q has you covered, serving up deliciousness every day of the week. Start your week with a taste of the Bayou. Our Tuesday seafood gumbo is packed with fresh flavors that will transport you straight to the coast. On Wednesdays, sink your teeth into our country fried beef brisket, crispy, tender, and oh so satisfying. Thursdays are all about the creamy, dreamy Alfredo. And when Friday rolls around, it's time for our famous fish fry. And on Saturdays, we are serving up juicy prime rib and savory pork chops that'll make your weekend unforgettable. And Sundays, it's soul food celebration. Hot chicken and waffles, meatloaf and gravy, fried chicken, turkey chops, barbecue ribs, oxtails, smothered neck bones, catfish, and that's just the beginning. Come find your flavor at Ashley's Q, located at 8718 West Lisbon Avenue. Call us at 414-935-2190. Ashley's Q, where every dish is cooked with love and every meal feels like home. See you soon.